everybody, welcome to Tuesday's Leadership Tip. Last week, I had the privilege of being the opening speaker at a nonprofit conference day. So congratulations to Amanda Homan, Operation New View, Dubuque Chamber, and Black Hills Energy. Fabulous day. Whenever I go to a conference, I always think people show up wanting new information, wanting ways to move forward that are different than what they knew before. We want to make sure that on those days we change. Here's what I noticed. I overheard at least a handful of people who would say, I need to raise money for my organization, or I need to organize volunteers for my organization, and here's my struggle. And once they told people their struggle, everybody else wanted to help. And so they would say, well, what have you tried this? Or this worked for me, or what about? And this is when it happened. The next thing that came out of their mouth was, well, I can't do that. That would be impossible for me. There's no way that that could happen in my organization. And I thought, uh-oh, here is a moment that we could all learn from. We always talk about what we desire. And then when there is a challenge or something that is challenging, we begin to use words like, I can't. You don't understand. That wouldn't work. And what we're doing is making an agreement with can't, with won't, with wouldn't, instead of making an agreement with could, would, possibility. It's interesting, isn't it? And it's true for all of us. We must be so careful about our thoughts. Now, at one point I talked about cause and effect, and if you remember that, it was the picture on the wall with the thinking, the body, the results. If you don't remember it, I think it's week 28. You can go back and refer to that. We can tell what we're fighting for by our language, and I wonder what would happen in the middle of a conversation like that. What would happen if we stopped and said, I'm curious. What do you think I'm fighting for? Now, at the nonprofit, if somebody were to have asked me, I would have said, well, it sounds like you're fighting to remain stuck. It sounds like you're lobbying to do the work yourself. It sounds like, and we fill in the blank. What are we agreeing to? When we say, I can't, we're making an agreement with can't. When we say, I'd like to, but we're making an agreement with an excuse. And I guarantee you, whatever we fight for, whatever we lobby for, the language that we're using, we're going to get that result. And then we're going to look at it and say, oh, how did this happen? You see, our thinking becomes self-fulfilling. And sometimes our thinking sabotages us. Are we agreeing with the can't? Is the distance between where we are and where we want to be so big that we are lobbying to remain stuck? And if so, let's get in there and scramble those eggs, get our thinking to be a little bit different. That's why people hire coaches, because we need a thinking partner. We want somebody to say, our thinking is limiting our possibility. Have a great week, everybody.